I'm a 32-year-old woman, and I'm currently in a rather interesting, even a bit unexpected situation that has me thinking about how men perceive me and how I myself feel in relationships. I recently met a guy through Tinder, and even though we didn't talk for that long, I could already feel how different our interactions were from all the standard superficial dating that usually happens on similar platforms. We had already met on 4 dates, and what pleasantly surprised me was that on each of them we were in no hurry to get intimate. Everything happened organically, without any pressure or expectations, which in turn allowed us to not only get to know each other on a deeper level, but also just enjoy each other's company without worrying about what the next step should be. We discussed a lot of different topics at these meetings, from light and casual conversations about hobbies and traveling to more serious conversations about life, values, and future plans. We both realized that we were taking our time, and that was a real blessing. There are times when meeting conversations go beyond just kissing and light flirting, but instead are filled with meaning. We enjoyed every moment together, not rushing to do something to speed up the development of events. We like this slow pace. We both want to understand each other, to feel trust and confidence before we step to the next level. This has been a real eye-opener for me. When people take their time and can just be there for each other, not thinking about what should or must be, but just giving themselves time to feel and understand who is in front of them. And even though things have been calm and unstressed on these dates, I've noticed a real closeness slowly starting to grow between us, but there's one thing that's been bothering me a little bit, and it's been keeping me on my toes. He keeps telling me that I'm cute. It's not really a word that comes across as something negative or unpleasant, and I sincerely appreciate his compliments. I like being called nice, and I really appreciate it when people notice qualities like kindness, lightness, and charm in me. Feels really nice, and of course at a certain point I even start to think that it might not be such a bad thing. But here's where my internal dilemma begins. He started calling me cutie on our last date, and it was somehow particularly emphatic. And here I caught myself thinking that more and more often it seems to me that I am perceived exclusively as a cute girl, the one you want to approach with tenderness and care, but not as the one with whom you want to build a more passionate, deep relationship. Yes, I realize that being cute is great too, but sometimes I feel like this cute girl is not how I want to be perceived. I want to be recognized not only for my kindness and attractiveness, but also for my confidence, passion, sexuality, and maturity. I want to be a woman who is attractive not only for her softness and cuteness, but also for her maturity and inner strength. I want to be seen as someone who can be both gentle and sexy, who is capable of passion and not just a smile. That doesn't mean I want to give up my sweet side. On the contrary, I'm proud of who I am. But still, sometimes I want to be looked at not only as a charming girl with whom it is nice to spend time, but as a woman who can be desired, with whom you can not only talk, but also feel a real intimate connection based on deeper emotions and mutual attraction. The thing is, I often get compliments related to being cute, attractive, or even charming, and while that's always nice, lately I'm starting to feel like it's becoming something almost standard in how I'm perceived by others. I realize that these words are an expression of positive feelings, but more and more often I'm catching myself thinking that it's as if they're limiting my perception. It's like they put me in a category of women who are sweet and carefree, who make you want to take care of them, but aren't always seen as someone you can build a more passionate, deeper relationship with. When I am told that I am nice, I almost always feel a slight perplexity, because in my mind a nice girl is someone who is easy to love, with whom it is pleasant to communicate, but with whom I do not always want to develop a passionate relationship. And this is where the inner conflict begins. I miss the feeling of being perceived as a woman with more mature, confident features. A woman who attracts not only with her kindness, but also with her sexual energy. I'm not trying to give up my sweet side. I'm proud of who I am and I like to be affectionate and open. But sometimes I want to be perceived as a woman with whom I can not only share tenderness and sweet moments, but also develop a deeper, more sensual relationship. It's a special desire to be perceived as someone with whom you want to not only share laughs and conversations, but also spend passionate nights exploring each other on a more intimate level. I would like to be perceived as someone who is not just nice, but a woman who can ignite desire, confidence, and passion in others. I want to be seen not only as charming and kind, but also as confident, sexy, and deep. I often think about how my physical features affect the perception of others, and it is not always for the better. My height is only 160 centimeters, and although I consider myself in good shape, this can be perceived as something small and slight. This creates an interesting contrast. I am active in sport, working out, developing strength and stamina, but physically I am often perceived as a petite, fragile girl rather than a woman of strength and confidence. My appearance probably plays a part in this perception as well. I have large eyes that often look expressive and naive, soft facial features, all of which add a certain cuteness to me. I can't say that I don't like it, but I think that people around me often see me as something delicate or even defenseless. With each compliment about my cute appearance, I catch myself more and more often thinking that this reputation may not give me the opportunity to show other sides of my personality. And while I realize that people do it in good faith, sometimes I get tired of it. I'm not trying to look cute, that's just who I am. But sometimes I want to be seen as more than just that. An exterior that is associated with softness and good-naturedness, but one that hides confidence, strength, and passion. I don't want my appearance to limit the perception of me as a woman with versatile qualities, with an inner strength that can be gentle, sexy, passionate, and independent. I would like people to see me not only as someone to spend time with, but also as a woman with whom they want to build not only an emotional connection, but also a passionate, deep attraction. In addition, I am an active and energetic woman, and weightlifting is an integral part of my life. I don't just train to keep fit, but because it's a way for me to be toned, feel my body's strength and confidence. I take pride in pushing my physical limits and exercising to the fullest despite some challenges. This year I have had to deal with health issues that have made it difficult to train, and unfortunately it has affected my muscle mass. It hasn't been easy and I'm still working on getting back in shape. But even with the loss of some muscle, I continue to maintain an active lifestyle because for me physical activity is not just a workout, but a way of life that helps me stay strong and confident. However, even though I pride myself on being physically fit and having strength and endurance, my features are still quite soft and rounded. My appearance does not reflect the hard and burnt-out physical strength that comes from training with heavy weights. I don't aspire to become someone I'm not, but sometimes I wish that my efforts in the gym and my inner qualities would also show up on the perception level of others. I would like people to see me not only as a cute girl with rounded features, but as a real woman, full of confidence and sex appeal. I want to be seen as someone who is not only gentle and charming, but someone who knows her power, who is ready to be sexy and passionate, and who, despite her softness, has the inner strength to attract and win attention. I confess that I have never wanted to do anything on purpose to appear hot or daring in the eyes of others. I don't feel the need to imitate certain trends or create an impression with external attributes such as tattoos or piercings. It's not my style, although I can understand why it is a way for some people to express themselves. I don't want to wear something on myself that will look like an alien part of me. I always strive to stay true to myself, my inner world, and the style that is right for me. So while I respect the choices of others, I prefer not to follow those fashion trends. Also, I am not close to extreme sports or hobbies that are often associated with the image of the cool and daring woman, nor do I need to strive to be one. I don't feel the need to prove my coolness through risks or physical feats. My passion for sports is due to the fact that I love physical activity. It helps me feel toned and confident, but I do not aspire to look like someone who challenges everything and everyone. Comfort is important to me, harmony with myself and what I do. As for clothes, I love to wear comfortable things in which I feel easy and natural. However, sometimes when I look back at myself in the mirror, I feel that such things do not always emphasize all my femininity and sexuality. I sometimes feel that my closet lacks those elements that could emphasize my inner strength and attractiveness. I don't want to change my style beyond recognition, but in some moments I want to add a little more emphasis on the side of myself that can be not only comfortable, but also sexy, confident, and bright. I notice that I need to work on my confidence more, and sometimes I feel that I tend to stay within the boundaries of what is perceived as nice or sweet on my own. I'm comfortable being kind and approachable, open to socialization and attention from others. Lately, however, I'm beginning to feel that I'm too often focused on being nice and agreeable to everyone, trying to avoid being harsh or conflicted. I may even be unnecessarily afraid of appearing too confident or decisive, because I feel like it could be perceived as arrogance or fraught with misunderstanding. It's as if I don't have the courage to show a side of myself that could be more powerful, vibrant, and seductive. But increasingly, I want to find a balance between these two sides. To be a woman who both radiates the light of her kindness and attracts with her natural sexual energy. I realize that attractiveness is not limited to looks or cuteness. It comes from within. It is inner strength, self-confidence, and the ability to be yourself without trying to please everyone. I would like my sexuality not to be felt as something secondary, but as a part of my personality. Integral, bright, and natural. I want to learn how to be a woman who is attractive not only by her outward charm and kindness, but also by how she stands in life, how she holds herself, how she is confident in her desires and boundaries. To not be afraid to be who I am without feeling the need to make excuses for my confidence. I need to learn to allow myself to be more vibrant, sexy and powerful without fear of being perceived as something selfish or unpleasant. I wonder if there are ways to change the perception of others without completely changing my character or style. I don't want to stop being me, but more and more often I catch myself thinking that I would like to be perceived not only as a nice girl, but also as a woman who can be both desirable, sexy and confident. I realize that people's perception depends largely on how I present myself, and I would like to learn to express my confidence not only through words, but also through gestures, facial expressions and body language. Perhaps it should manifest itself in the way I hold myself, the way I pay attention to details in my clothing or manner of speaking. This doesn't mean I want to change my habits or style drastically. I just want to learn how to emphasize the part of myself that can be not only cute, but also attractive and confident in my femininity. Sexuality for me is not just a set of external attributes, not just the way I look. It's a state that comes from within. It's my self-confidence, my ability to feel comfortable in my body and then convey that feeling to others. It's important for me to learn how to display my sexuality not as something intrusive or artificial, but as a natural extension of who I am. After all, attractiveness is not just about physical perception, but also about how I move, how I look at people, and how I interact with the world. I want people to see me not only as someone they enjoy spending time with or want to protect, but also as someone they want to share passion and real, genuine intimacy with. I strive for a balance where my confidence and sexuality go hand in hand with my gentleness and kindness, creating harmony between who I am and how I want to be perceived.
Thank you for watching this video. I would appreciate it if you put a like and subscribe to the channel, as most likely this is not the end of the story. Before meeting,